Welcome back to my Niagara Learning channel. We're going to show you here how to use one graphic for various, in this case, MCBs, ACBs, and then we'll be doing another graphic for all these meters. So at the moment we're bringing all these in via BACnet, and I've put them into their relevant folders. I'm using an ECYS 1000 controller, bringing all these points in to a Distech ECNet 4 Pro controller. At the moment I've made my office PC the BMS supervisor because they sent me a copy, and I'm adding in currently all the network, all the BACnet points from this controller here. And then I'm going to make one graphic which will cover all this. But in order to do this, I've got to change all these wording so they're all exactly the same. So let me just, I'm going to stop the video in a bit while I go through and do all this lot, because this is going to take some time. So I've highlighted them all, right click, rename, type in that, take out that underscore, go OK. So they've all got the same names as the folder above it. We'll do a few. Rename, highlight that including the space, rename, paste it in there, take out that, OK. Next then, rename, including the space, highlight them all, rename, and as you can see I have got a lot to do here, so there's no point in playing this video, keeping this video going while I do all this lot, because that would just take a long time. And then once I've done this, I can do the video, start the video again, and just show you how we move forward with making one graphic to cover all these points. Rename. I'm going to take all that lot from there, highlight, rename, put that in there, and put that there. So we've all got the same names in each folder until we get to the meters, of course, and they're going to be a bit different. Highlight, rename, paste that into there, take out that. OK, so I'll stop this video for now, and I'll start again when I do the meters. So we're now to the meters. So I've now got to do every one of these meters and take out the BACnet text of these. Rename. So every meter will have these individual naming names inside the folder. So I've got to go through and do all these. Personally, it's not the way I would have done this, bringing all the meters into a Distech controller and then bringing them back out via BACnet. It's not the way I would have done that, but that's what the client wanted. There's a far easier and better way, so we won't have to mess around with all this lot. And that would be to install a Modbus to IP module, bring all the meters in and bring them straight into the supervisor rather than bringing them into a controller. And it would cut out all this tedious work of writing the software in the controller, naming every point differently, to then bring back to the supervisor. Let me just show you what I mean. Let me just go to my other screen here, and I'll move it across once it loads. Is it loading on this screen here? No, it's not. There we go. Bring that across for you. Find devices. So I've got connected here is a ECY S1000 controller, and you'll see it pop up in a minute here. Here we go. And then if we go to the launch, the software that's in there, wait for that to load. It's loading on my other screen at the moment. And I can bring that across and show you that someone's had to write the software in the controller, and the controller's got the Modbus connection to the meters, and every meter is being brought in, and every point of every meter is being brought in, and then a description has been made for each meter. And then once I've brought it all into the supervisor via backnet connected to the meter, I've then got to put them into the individual folders like I have done. If I can find it for you, like I have done here, put the data into the individual folders, and then I've got to strip out the names so that each folder has the same set of wording per point, so that I can make the graphic and relativize these points into there. Here we go, this is just loaded now. So that's just one of the meters here. There's a meter ACBTRX, and every one's had to have there's another one there, 101 and 1, and each one has had to have the name put on the backnet point. And then I can then bring them in. See the binary value there, the trip, the rack out, and the test all got the name in front of it, and the open and close has got the name in front of it. So you physically got the hardware point going into a binary value there, which I pull out, and when they've wrote the software, they've had to put the different name for each individual MCCB or air circuit breaker. And if we go to the meters side, let's just open up one of the meters here, and then these have had to have their own name as well for each point coming out for the Modbus. Where if we have used a Modbus RTU to Modbus IP and brought them directly into supervisor, then we would cut out all this tedious work that we're doing here, taking the point in, making the folder, putting the point in the folder, and then stripping out the words for the meter. It is just crazy, but that's what the client wanted, so that's what the client gets. But there's a much easier way than doing it than this. Take out that there. So I'm going to put this video on pause and do the rest of these meters, which is quite a few. Right, I've been through all these. I've got some issues here. I've got no trip for this BS88 10101 and BS88 10201, but I'm not worried about them at the moment. BMS panel, they're just what's on the BMS panel, the safety, passenger lift alarms, etc, etc. I do have a duplication there on the branch trans pump, hence the 1 at the end, and grease trap common alarm, hence the 1 at the end. So I need to address that and find out what controller, or do we have 2 brine trans pumps and do we have 2 grease traps? So I need to, there's your grease brine trap there and there's your grease trap. So I need to address these with the client. I also need to address why we don't have the trip for these with the client. And I also need to check, because I found one folder, this one here, MCB 10207, that has no points in it. And I don't know why. So let's go to the points and let's discover the points in again from the S1000, and I'm looking for, I can close some of these down now. I need to make a backup as well because I've put quite a bit of work into this at the moment and I don't want to mess it up. Come on. Right, so 2,154 objects, and I am looking for, what was it? It was, when I find the damn thing, this one here, MCCB 102-107. So let's scroll down, MCCB 102-107. 102. Where are we? 102. 106. So why would I have wrote that in there if I haven't got a 107? I can't see. Ah. Oh, 102's 30s. 10207. Let's just scroll down here. 102. Here we go. 10207 meter. That's an ACB. So that's not that, is it? That's ACB one I already have. ACB 10207. I don't know. That's something I need to look at and find out why, and it may come apparent eventually. As you can see, there's lots of points. We've now put them all in the folders. So we've got the disboard meters. These are the disboard meters, which doesn't have any serial numbers, and these ones are main meters, which have serial numbers. So what I was going to do is I was going to just put them into their own folders along with the MCBs and the AC circuit breakers. So I will make another folder here, for example, and call it ACB, which I would be putting that down at the bottom then. And then what I will do is I will take these ACBs here, I will cut them, and I'll scroll down to the bottom and I'll paste them in there. Doesn't like me to do that, so I'd have to do it from here instead. ACB, cut them, paste. Doesn't like it either, so I'm going to have to leave it as it is. It doesn't like a folder within a folder, so I won't be doing that. So I can't really segregate them any further than what I already have done in their own folders. So let's not worry about that. Let me just close all these boxes down, and we can then start doing the graphics for these meters. Let me put you on pause while I do this. Okay, I've closed all the folders and I've just created a folder called ACB again, and I've just moved them from here, cut, to there. So I don't know what I was doing wrong before, but they have moved. So let's just do these ACBs here, cut, paste. Got some ACBs there, cut, paste, some more there, cut, paste, DBs. Okay, so we need to do a new folder called DBs. New folder, DB meters. So disboard meters. I'll start at the top. So that is, I think, a disboard meter. Let's just have a quick look at that. So the 102, no, that's a serial number. And that's serial numbers. Serial number, that's an MCB, nothing to do with the electric meters as such. So it's got to be, that's a DB meter. And that one is the one I haven't got anything for. So DB 102Z1. 102Z1. Is the yeah, that's a DB. Maybe it shouldn't have a K on that, but that's got a K as well, so I'll leave it as it is. And they're DBs as well. So I reckon that all them, let's just see whether the MD, yeah, so take them to that, cut them, put them into there. This one I'm not sure about at the moment, these bits here, and the BMS panel is different, so that one we're not sure of. Now they're open and closed MCBs, that's a meter, and they're be meters, and I think these are all open and closed MCBs, they are. So what folder do we call that? Just MCB. So ACB, new folder, MCB, and then a new folder again, MCB meters. Hope if I spell it right. So these are the MCB meters. So let's take them MCB meters. Anything that's got a meter at the end there. And let's cut them and put them into there. And then they are also, that's a meter. That's an MCB. And that one we don't know yet. So I can take that 102, 107, I can cut that and I can put that into there. And that's a normal meter. And that one is. So them two there, I can take them two, cut them and put them into there. So all these are got the serial number on them. And the two I've just put in has got the serial number. But just text is just slightly wrong with them, but I'm not bothered about that. So MCBs, and then if I look at that one, that's got the open, close and trip. Follow it all the way down. That's an issue, which we know about, that's an issue. That's got open, close and trip, the 102. So take that and take that, cut them and put them into there. So there's them, there's the meters. So now we've got the main BMS panel. I've got some issues with these. I've still got an issue with that one because I don't have any of the harmonics in there, which should be the serial number. So I'm going to leave that one at the moment in the root folder. I've got an issue with them because I've got no trips. So did I take across one of them ones that I've got the issue with the meters? I think I did. Anyway, let me put you on pause and let me try and find that one and bring it back out into its parent. Right, I brought that one out to its parent there, so I've got an issue with that one as well. Let's just reorder some of these points. So the ones we're working on are them. Let's just put them right up at the top. I don't have an issue with the BMS panel, but then I have an issue with some of these below, which needs to be addressed later. So now we need to make the graphic for these air circuit breakers. Right, so files, PX, metering, and I think this is no, that's rubbish, this is my stuff, yes, that I made for the graphics. So I'm going to stay in that folder, and so those are all the electric meters for this job. Okay, So I am going to make a new folder now and call it pop-ups. And then new, and we'll go px file, and we do the ACBs first. Air circuit breakers. I'll just call it ACB. Blank canvas. So now I want to take an ACB, any one, and just drag them points across. Let's go background, animate, status, background. I'll also change them to white for now. And we'll do the foreground, animate, and just use the standard foreground. We do display, we do out value, and we'll put a border on it, groove, and that would do for now. Expand them out a bit. Expand that out a bit. And then I need to do, I'll just take one of them, duplicate, and I'm just going to change that to say slot. And animate that for the moment. That's going to be %, name, %. Okay, that's going to be completely wrong. Let's just take that ACB folder there, views, new view, ACB, HX, point it to the folder that we've just done. Files on station, PX, metering, topology, pop-ups, ACB, OK, reuse. Yes. That needs to say display name, doesn't it? Let's just animate. Display name. Take out that. We'll take the border off that, I think. And we'll change the font size when it responds to me. Thank you. 18 bold. Put that in the center there. And then these ords want to be relativized. So we just click on that, and that does it all for us automatically. So if we look into one of them ords now, that's my open slot, that's my closed slot. And then we need to do some graphics as well, but this page is too big at the moment for pop-up, so let's just minimize it to say 600 by 400 just for the moment. But whatever we change on this graphic now will be for all those ACBs. So all we've got to do now is right click each one of these, do a new view, and that should be exactly the same place as where I was before. Reuse. So that's that one done. Views, new view, reuse. Views, new view, reuse. View, new view, reuse. I'll carry on doing that later, but that just gives you an idea. After you've done all the hard work with putting your points in, you can use one graphic, and we'll put a nice graphic with open and closed and rack out and in test and everything like that. We just need to change that one graphic. We don't have to change any more, which is better just playing with one graphic. Alright, thank you for watching.